Usually Bill just grabbed his good friend Harris Lee or somebody else, and they go on an adventure.
Want to go for a ride?
Yeah, you want to go for a ride? And they're all like, "Yay!" It was great. Yeah. No, the one that I see there, and I put it in there, the 70 and a half Z28, right?
With the round lights.
Yeah, with the round lights. The original museum was started in 1996. Nonprofit, 501c3, like I mentioned. 150 plus cars in the collection, all crammed together in what we all locally called here the old Kmart building, which Bill bought. Well, in 2006.
So this used to be a Kmart building?
No, the old building used to be.
The old building that he kept his cars in.
His cars in, and he could get all of them in there.
I guess so. It's a Kmart. It's like, are they open?
Or does it look nice? Is it, and then everybody comes in and goes, "Oh my God, this is cool."
Right.
Well, I would like some landscaping. I need new billboards out in front here. I need landscaping.
Right.
Our Model T Hux truck in there actually is a St. Louis vehicle originally, and that was our last donation. It worked at Soulard Market. It was a working vehicle. It was on loan by the two brothers. Can't remember their name right now. And they passed away, and their wives donated it to us. And it's really kind of cool, because
it's going to live on. It's going to be in good hands. I'm here today with Tom Jones. He is the curator and art director, and he's been here for 19 plus years. It'll be 20 years next year. And where we're at is at the Auto World Museum, and its title is the Foundation. So this is a nonprofit foundation with Vicki McDaniels, who is the daughter of William Backer, who founded all of these cars and collected them over the years. And we're in Fulton, Missouri. So I'm here to get the story. I got brought by here by Boyd Hoffman, who you might guys know. I did a small podcast with him about bourbon in St. Louis and also the Missouri Athletic Club. That's where we're at. And he brought me over to this place, and I've lived in St. Louis all my life. I don't live there now, but I lived in St. Louis a long time and never saw this place.
Yeah.
And so I got by here, and I met Tom, and I'm like, oh, my God, Tom, you got to come on the podcast. So here he is, Tom, and we're here to get a story about, he was telling us plenty about this place, and it's just an amazing museum, and he's hopeful that he can get all the cars here under one roof.
Yes, that is our goal.
That is the goal. So hopefully maybe get the word out. I don't know, maybe get somebody wanting to help out the foundation. Who knows?
Well, we'll see. Actually, it's one of Vicky's goals as well. We have over 50, darn near 60 cars in storage in various places around. And I used to switch out these cars, 5 or 6 cars every year from storage. And it's a massive undertaking. It takes 5 people. You got to move 12 cars to switch out one. So we were one of the few museums, in a way, it was a good thing that I could keep my collection fresh and everything. But now we're at a point where we just need to get the cars out of storage. They are decritified, but we had an incident this spring where one of our L29 cords, not the one in here, was attacked by a raccoon, that it got in through the ceiling, which I think kind of prompted Vicki to realize that we need to really just get all the cars out of storage so we can keep our eyes on all of them. And I can accept donation of cars again, which I can't really anymore.
Okay. Oh, wow. So if you expanded and somebody had, 1 or 2 cars, or maybe even a whole collection,
right,
they didn't really have the wherewithal,
absolutely,
to put together a
or
foundation.
The grandchildren or the children didn't want to mess with it, or did they need the tax write-off?
Right.
Our Model T Hux truck in there actually is a St. Louis vehicle originally, and that was our last donation. It worked at Soulard Market. It was a working vehicle. It was on loan by the two brothers. Can't remember their name right now. And they passed away, and their wives donated it to us. And it's really kind of cool, because
it's going to live on. It's going to be in good hands.
It's going to be in good hands.
Right.
And when I first told Vicki about it, she's like, well, where are you going to put it? I said, it's a Model T. It's skinny. I'll fit it in.
So I was curious, and I forgot to ask you when I was touring, does this, do all of these cars run?
That's always kind of questionable. Bill, before he passed away in 2008, Bill Backer, William Backer, he used to take out 10 to 12 a year and lube them, love on them, run them in the parking lot.
Wow.
Okay? But he had a couple of mechanics because he was the one that restored them. Well, those mechanics have passed away or retired and left the state. I am not one. And also, we don't really have a shop anymore. That facility kind of disappeared.
You're putting cars there now.
Yeah,
storing
well,
them.
yeah, or there's other things. Vicky's husband collects tractors of all things, and a lot of those spaces that used to be used to work on cars are now part of his tractor collection. So,
Okay.
but we are at that point where we're just kind of out of room. In fact, Vicky told me 2 years ago I bought a Briscoe. And I kind of went, oh, really? What's a Briscoe? And it looks just like a Model T, another one of the cars that were made in St. Louis. As you know, St. Louis was host to, what would they say, over 120, 150.
It's only second to Detroit, right?
Right, pretty much. And there are all these, and this is all before, the Depression hit, right? We even have a Moon made in St. Louis here, and that disappeared. All those companies disappeared.
Was Nash in St. Louis too?
I do not believe. I thought Nash was.
But you guys have a Moon here.
We do. It's right around the corner. You bet. We have a Moon. And it's actually Vicky's personal one. In fact, if you look up a Moon of that year, you'll see that car. And she saw it on auction and knew how rare it was. And so she snagged it.
Okay.
So she's still
kind of collecting
sort
too.
of collecting. Her 3-door Model T, that's another one. Anything. And this Briscoe, if she sees something incredibly rare, she'll jump on it.
Oh, so that's what she's kind of looking
Yeah,
for.
she and my mother and a couple of others started the Historical Preservation Society here in Fulton, Missouri. Vicky has 39 houses she's restored in town.
Oh, really?
And her brother-in-law, Joe, who she wrangled in to come in from the East Coast, who used to restore 300-year-old houses, he now is her head restoration guy. And
wow.
so,
Did you know what is that house? There's a history. There's a house for sale right now in downtown.
is there?
It's a historical house.
I'm sure. I'm not sure which one.
I can't remember, but it's still for sale. I mean, they're wanting kind of a price for it, but
Well, in a way, I
should-
can
I should
understand that.
pass that one to you and pass it. It would
No,
be a shame
no,
to see
no.
it. Oh, he's saying
No. Poor Vicky. She's like her
she doesn't
father.
need another project.
Well, she's and like she always would say. She goes, I'm kind of like Dad. Once I collect, I can't sell them. So all 39 of these houses that she has, maybe more actually, they're rented out. And so I asked Joe, her brother-in-law, the expert who has all the cool tools, and I go, so what are you working on now, Joe? And he goes, house calls. That's all he's doing. He's fixing HVAC and plumbing issues. He goes, all my tools are getting rusty. So we'll see.
Okay. So it started out with. Did he like to be called William or Bill?
He's Bill.
He's Bill.
He's a Bill.
Yeah. So we got to see. You have a little video, and I guess you narrated the video.
Yeah, I narrated it. I did. I kind of partnered up when we built this thing with William Harrison, Dan Harrison. He's kind of my business practical guy. He's also my lighting guy, essentially, because I come from a film and theater background, and logistically as well, a good old retired military guy, and yeah. So, what were we talking about? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
You did the video.
Oh, right. You asked me about the video. So anyway, he wrote.
I think you narrated.
He wrote the script. I did the narration. At Chimeric, David Anderson, one of his first bigger gigs, he's the one that edited it and put it together. And
So,
I directed it and
So you did that
narrated
while Bill was still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the things we did right after we got done loading in here. We put him in. We put him in front of the
So Bill
LaSalle.
got to see this.
Oh, he did. He did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because what happened is that in 2006, the original museum was started in 1996. Nonprofit, 501c3, like I mentioned, 150 plus cars in the collection, all crammed together in what we all locally called here the old Kmart building, which Bill bought. Well, in
So
2006.
this used to be a Kmart building?
No, the old building used
The
to
old
be.
building that he kept his cars
Kept
in.
his cars in, and he could get all of them in there.
I guess so. It's a Kmart.
It's a Kmart. It was very big. And so in 2006, he sold it to Tractor Supply, which is what it is today. So
okay.
the family was at a crossroads. Do we sell all the cars or do we do something cool with it? Well, Vicky, his daughter, Vicky McDaniels, knew I was back in town from Colorado to take care of my elderly parents and knew I was an art director, film guy, car enthusiast, hired me to build this place. And but one thing we realized, we were not going to be able to fit more than 80 cars in here. That's why I would try to switch out 6 or 8 a year out of the storage just to keep it fresh and, keep an eye on the cars.
Right. Okay. So did he have a garage facility here, or was that the one that was at the Kmart when he was like doing the
Well,
maintenance?
he had it at the Kmart and by the chip factory, as we call it, the potato chip factory. They have a bunch of properties all around there that they're stashed in one way or the other,
okay.
and other places.
So they're still cooking away on chips.
Oh yeah, Vicky
that-
has done quite well. I think she might be embarrassed of me saying it, but I think she did a better job than Bill in terms of making it a successful company. Backer Potato Chips, their brand name, was essentially sold within the state or the three state area, I guess I should say.
So what's that? Illinois,
Iowa, Kansas, and that zone. And
Okay.
and they did their own distribution, etc. Vicky expanded that. She built another cooker, and now she makes potato chips for Walmart, Sam's Club, Gerb's, IGA, even for other potato chip manufacturers like Guy's Potato Chips. And they do it under the Great Value name. So you might have had a Backer potato chip without really realizing.
So is that fairly new? Because it's interesting. I just walked through Walmart the other day and noticed that they had a Great Value
Right.
potato chips.
Right.
How recent has that been?
Oh, she's been doing that for almost 20 years now.
Oh, really? So that's
Yeah.
been a while.
It has.
Okay.
Bill kind of pulled himself out of the being in charge of everything probably around 2002 to 2004 in that zone, and was letting Vicky take over. And he knew that was going to happen. He was over it. The poor guy. He was just over it. He'd rather just
So
hang
I'm
out
sure
with his
I've had
cars.
some
Backer potato
I'm
chips.
sorry, Backer potato chips. But
Yeah.
the most recent experience I had is I went to Crane's,
Oh, sure.
and that's the chip that they push.
Absolutely. In fact, the father, David's father, Crane, and Bill were very good friends.
Really?
Yeah, Bill knew all of the people that made their money and their mark in this area, and David's father was one of them.
I just got some boots. That's kind of I saw a
Yeah,
sign.
yeah. And they do great Carhartts too, and all sorts of other things. We always go out there. And Marlene's restaurant is most magnificent. If they have I think their restaurant's still open. Isn't Marlene still open out there?
Is that actually?
It's in there along with their little mini museum.
Oh, okay.
It's on the
Interesting.
other side of the store. I think he's still got it going.
So, well, you can still get a bologna sandwich.
Yes, of course.
That's why I like to stop by there and get a bologna sandwich.
Well, and
and-
they also have the old Liars Club, which you would have appreciated. It was all the old fogies sitting around just making stuff up, drinking coffee. It was actually hysterical.
still there. They got a whole little horseshoe of chairs
Yes, they
with
do.
a TV.
Yeah.
I did. They weren't there when I went by the other day, but like 3 months ago I went by there,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they were all there.
Crane Store is still very well known on anybody that does the I-70 tour. You just stop off not just for the restaurant, especially the Marlene's, but also because of the general store there.
Right. And I guess the thing is, the reason why I like to mention is like there's more to see in Fulton, Missouri than just
Yeah.
the auto museum.
Right.
You can go by Crane Store, which is just like a step back into the past.
It truly is.
And then there's also, you're very close to Jeff City.
Right.
You can stop by Central Dairy.
Right.
So what else is around the area that I might be missing that I don't know about to share?
Well, in Fulton itself is where we started the Cold War, or whether Churchill started the Cold War at the National Winston Churchill Memorial Museum and Library. And oddly enough, Churchill and Truman brought Churchill here in 1946 as part of the whole campaign, warning of Soviet expansionism. and coined the Iron Curtain phrase here and gave the famous Iron Curtain speech here in Fulton. And we have a pristine Christopher Wren church in Fulton. You have to realize my father and mother were both historians. We spent a lot of time in Europe as well as here. It's kind of strange having this wonderfully beautiful, pristine Christopher Wren church that was originally destroyed in the fire, not in the fire of London, during the Blitz in London, that was brought here in the mid to late 60s and dedicated in the late 60s as part of the museum, celebrating Churchill coming here and starting the war.
And that was at Westminster College?
It's at Westminster. You'll see it as you drive by.
Interesting.
And it was also my first job. And my father was a Churchill historian. And while we were in Paris that year, Lady Mary Soames, Churchill's youngest daughter, and her husband had just gotten off of the Rhodesian gig because he was the ambassador to Rhodesia, and he was rewarded by being the ambassador to France, which is in the Josephine Bonaparte building. So anyway, my father and I and the family were sent there to see if they could get the Clementine Churchill letters that they wrote each other. And because Martin Gilbert and a few others that were part of his biography, Churchill's biographers, she didn't really like them very much. So she wanted to do something cool, and she was a delight. We met there at the embassy, and she was plying me with chocolates. I'm like 10 or 11, and I say, Mary, I have to get sick because these are too rich. So she sends me off to the bathroom, and I run into this bathroom no bigger than this stage, and I look up, and there's a giant N with Napoleon on it. First time in my life I was stopped in the middle of vomiting, and then I threw up. So every time we met publicly in front of journalists and stuff, she made sure she told everybody how I threw up in Josephine Bonaparte's bathroom. And she thought that was really funny. You have to realize she was a delight, Churchill's daughter. And she was here in 2006, the same year that we opened this place as well. Stayed right down the street from me in the bed and breakfast. My parents live across the street from the bed and breakfast. And in fact, that car back there that mentions her name, the 32 Buick, Bill, and they had a parade of all old cars for the dedication there. And Bill's driving by my front of my house, and he stops. And right, all these old cars almost just go pat, 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 pat into each other. And Bill's like, Tom, come here, come here. I go, Bill, what? What are you doing? I almost killed Lady Mary Soames. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, I should have checked the brakes on the Buick before I put her in it. And Mary, God bless her, leaned forward, pulled out a little flask, took a swig, and said, don't worry, Thomas, we'll make it just fine. And just a delight. So there are a lot of things to do, not to just throw in that personal story.
That's that Buick over there.
The blue one, you can't see it. It's around the corner. It's the longer Buick. Yeah, that's a Confederate. You can see there. The Buick is it's a limo kind of looking vehicle. But it was just very funny that it all kind of tied together in a way. You know, here we are brought together. I built this museum. Same time they redid the museum at the Churchill. And it was just kind of lovely because we wrote each other regularly. We were very good friends in the family. And I just thought it was neat that kind of coincided all at the same time.
Interesting.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't have to be sorry. That was, yeah, we got a treat. We, I guess the only chocolate we had, we just got back from Europe recently, and we stopped by, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a place where they call it hot chocolate, but it's not hot chocolate. No,
yeah.
It's like liquid chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like melted, full-on chocolate that you're drinking.
You better watch out.
But it was very good.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I tend to be allergic to like coconut and those sorts of things, and I'm sure it was just something I was allergic to when she fed it to me. But in
those little
little squares, like little lids.
But then there's that little, like, almost looks like Devil's Tower.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what those are. Canelo.
Yeah, not cannolis, are they?
No.
No, it's not a cannoli. It's
it's like canela or something is what they call them, and there's these little pastries.
Yeah.
And they sell them. There's the little shops all over. They're in the train stations.
I know. I don't know why. I'll
They-
think of
and
it
they'll-
at 3 o'clock
and
in the morning.
you can buy a tin of them.
Right. Right.
And so they still sell it in a tin. You can buy like 6 that goes in a tin.
Not a Toblerone. Is
No.
You know what
There's no
Toblerone's.
chocolate in it.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess you dunk them in coffee or
I guess,
tea
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't. They're kind of hard.
Little galettes, maybe
Yeah,
of some sort.
and very good. So that was
sorry,
very nice.
sorry, not to throw us off course.
So we also, I mean, you're talking France. I can't help but mention. I guess you got a chance to go up and see the French display at the Art Museum in St. Louis.
Oh, yes, I did.
So they had a number of nice car collections. Did any of those come from Bill's?
No. I don't know. I think a lot of those just came from people with a lot more money than we have. And they were also in pristine condition. That's the thing with our museum. We do not have pristine cars in that regard. They aren't made to go to shows necessarily. That was one cool thing about us, is that they're not overdone. The St. Louis Museum those are high-end,
Oh, really?
finished vehicles that were specialized. Remember, most cars back, before the Depression, they were special coach makers that would give you a special body on top of your vehicle. They weren't Model Ts, say, or Model As, which were some of the first.
They weren't really. What you're saying, they weren't really mass produced.
They weren't mass produced, and so those it was overwhelming. Honestly, it was just such a lovely collection. And I was trying to go with Dr. Perschbacher. He's our St. Louis expert. He's the St. Louis expert in automobile history for the state of Missouri, Jerry. And we missed him. I was kind of hoping to go with him and shoot a video with him talking about it. In fact, he on here with our videos, that's him and Bill talking about the history of the vehicles. Jerry's very cool, and I'm hoping to get him back this winter to get him to talk more. But
Okay.
Dr. Jerry Perschbacher, wonderful fellow.
Does he have a car collection as well?
Yeah, he does. He just kind of built one up. And what we're trying to do, and what we'd like to do, we build this 30,000 square foot addition. He has so much documentation, history from various car companies, etc., about the cars. One of our, in fact, I have a guy from Goodyear. Part of his retirement job for Goodyear is all of the history of Goodyear and the molds, for God's sake, all that stuff. And anything you can find that relates historically on paper, so we could create an actual library.
That's really cool.
Preserve all that.
My friend that brought me here, who you met, he's so interested. He's so into history. So my wife's grandfather was Gordon Bader.
Oh.
Who had Gordon Bader's Art Supply.
Right.
And so he just recently found that out. Next thing I know, next time I meet him, he gives me a folder like, here, this is for you. It's a present. I'm like, present? Papers? What is this? I open it up. There's some handwritten letters and invoices and stuff from Bader's Art Supply.
Oh, excellent.
From her grandfather.
Oh, wow.
That was so cool.
Yeah, well, hold on to those.
I mean, I have no idea where the heck he got those at.
Well, and the thing is that
and I guess that's what you're talking about with this Goodyear is like they're trying to collect what they can. It's just sitting out there in somebody's garage or something.
Right. Goodyear actually ended up being really good about their history, and that's this guy's retirement job. I can't get a hold of him. He has a good friend here in Missouri. He was coming to see. He was out of I think it was St. Louis. Is where he was, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I'm a little worried. He was a tad old. And anyway, between that and Jerry Perschbacher and his collection, et cetera, I know there's stuff out there, right, that we need to collect.
My uncle had a friend, and I can't remember his name. He lived just right there at 270 in Manchester to the south. Like, I want to say his property backed up to 270. He actually built a garage that held like 20 cars.
Wow, yeah.
And so that's probably one of who knows dozens or hundreds of collections that nobody really even knows about. It's like all private, and they're just these private collectors out there that have these cars.
Yeah, and these little museums and the private collectors, they're disappearing. One of Bill's good friends in Wentzville, he had an auction. Well, he died, and then his daughter had it, and he had a real Mary Olds, right? I have 2 reproductions, only 2 repros I have, the Mary Oldsmobile. And
but these were real ones.
But he has a real one, and it had a whole bunch of Woodies, just a great, good eye. He and Bill were great friends. In fact, I think Bill bought one of our British car in there too. The Woods. Anyway, so Vicky was on vacation, and I went, Vicky, I couldn't get a hold of her. Let's bid on this. They had an online bid. It's a real Mary Olds. And somebody said, oh, yeah, there are plenty of those. No, there's not. Not in that shape. They were in great shape. I couldn't get a hold of her, and she comes back. She goes, how much did it go for? 36 grand, Vicky. You could have beaten him by 4 grand more. And the guy, apparently, I just found out, this is a year or so ago, he was from England. He hasn't had it shipped over. And I'm thinking, we could buy it out from him. It's probably still in the, And she's like, really? So, maybe we might get lucky and I can get it back. I don't know. Yeah, then I'll turn our reproduction Marioles into prey cars or something. But I want a real one, Yeah. Again, that's the best part about this collection that Bill did. He understood the old cars. I have car wonk collectors that go, oh, I've never heard of a Will St. Clair or a whatever the heck.
Or Cord.
Or
I never heard of Cord.
Yeah.
That's a cool car.
Oh, it's a wonderful car. And we have it, like I said, we have her sister in storage that was redone. In fact, that Cord and the one in storage is the only car Bill had restored. So before the internet.
And what do you mean about restored? Like define
he
what
had
that
parts
means.
and pieces, and he had them built because he bought all
okay.
the parts and pieces. Or, just finding
these
an old
other
one in a
cars,
barn.
He would find like the Thunderbird. He
As
found it
is.
and then bought it.
As
And
is.
just kept it up.
Yes, and before the internet, right? Bill created most of this collection before the internet, before old car collecting was popular by Barrett's and those guys. And Bill would look at every single Auto Trader classified, Hemmings classified, call these people up. They would exchange photos, or he'd get photos from them. And he was looking for a car that was properly restored, had the proper color, that was not turned into a hot rod. He hated hot rods. And so
he's
then...
got 2.
Yeah. Well, that one there is there. I'll go back to that. But anyway, he would do that, and they would hop in the truck and a trailer and go get them on the weekends.
That was his weekend.
Yeah,
thing.
so all these cars have their own individual history before Bill even got to them.
Did you bring Vicky along on any of those trips?
Only one, and that was the one when we were on American Pickers, and they bought the Packard from us that was up in the old Jameson Ford building, which is now the CVS Pharmacy. They bought that one, and that was the only one she ever went on it with her father to go get, and which I thought was kind of dear. It made a great story for Pickers too, But Bill just grabbed his good friend Harris Lee or somebody else, and they go on an adventure.
Want to go for a ride?
Yeah, you want to go for a ride? And they're all like, yay! It was great. No, the one that I see there, and I put it in there, the 70 and a half Z28, right?
With the round lights.
Yeah, with the round lights. It's a Camaro originally.
The rear lights we're talking about are round.
Right. Now that the Camaro is what we're looking at. And I asked Bill, why do you have that? You hate those kind of cars. And he goes, because jerks like you, Tom Jones, would take a perfectly good Camaro, put a Corvette hood on it, and fake slicks and ruin the dang thing. And so Bill would get that car. Here was another, I think he even had another kit car, a Duesenberg kit car. I'm like, why do you have these? It's to remind him to find and buy the real one. And so before Bill passed, we got this done. He had a whole list of cars he wanted to get.
Oh,
right?
really?
Oh, yeah. He wanted to get some stuff that he didn't find interesting, but he knew the collection needed, like a GTOs, Novas, those sorts of things, right? And I asked him, I said, so did you find your 67 Camaro? And he goes, I'm not paying $80,000 for a car, Tom Jones. I'll buy a piece of land for $80,000. Because he did most of this collection. All of this collection was before anyone cared. I mean, we got a V16 Marmon, for God's sake. There are 2 of them in the world that look like that. I mean, our Pierce Arrows, all of these cars are worth a fortune now. And he made good money on potato chips. But darn, some of the things he was able to get now are worth a fortune.
Cool.
Yeah, so I always like putting that one in because it was one of our local high school kids that did that. I actually know the guy that I won't mention his name. I won't mention your name. that did that. And so it was just really kind of cool. And I love the fact that the slicks are radial, so you could still use it as your driver.
Right.
You know, that's what's kind of funny about it. But our split window Corvette, split window Stingray, right? That I was going to make into the parade car. Get rid of the mags, put the factory wheels on them and everything, huh?
That would have had knock-ons on it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. But the problem was, so it's the only car we didn't have a title on.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh my God, because Bill was very legal and good about that kind of thing. And so I look under there, I find 3 different VIN numbers. And I find out from our Corvette specialist, our guys in Jeff, they're like, well, they said something like 10 to 20% of those cars that were bought in those days wrecked because they were fiberglass with too big an engine and people didn't know how to drive them. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 cars put together.
Oh, wow, because it was wrecked back in the day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, and that's okay. It's still special, and whoever did it did a fantastic job. It's got the 327 rebuild that actually came with it, of all things, and then they put in an Edelbrock carburetor, which is fine. But I just thought I'm still trying to find
I have a neighbor that has I think that car in the blue.
In the blue, yeah, I love that color too.
And he's got the knock-ons.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the original wheels.
Oh wow, I kill for them. Actually, the original wheels are just standard.
Yeah,
GM.
They're not.
Nothing special.
They're nothing special.
It's the little hubcap thingy that they popped on. It was the only thing that's special in the middle.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I think they're just black, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
they
they're
were
just black,
or they came in red too. They
you know
also
what? I
came
think
in
he has red. He might have.
They
red.
have red, and then they usually have the chrome one. Yeah. I think. I'm not.
Can't
that
remember.
big
I have to go
wonk.
back. Look. Yeah, it's in his garage. I get to see it whenever the garage is open.
Yeah. Take a picture of it. Send it to me, would you?
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure his wife wouldn't mind me doing that.
Yeah, and then, we have our really cool 57 convertible Chevy, our Bel Air. And again, I was going to turn that into a parade car. And it's got the 280 whatever motor in it. Somebody put a high-performance cam in it for some reason, okay? We couldn't figure out why we started it up. It sounded great, but it was just, rah! And it overheated in 3 minutes, right? And, somebody put a high-performance cam in a convertible. And it just, you're going to really race off the line in a convertible? Really? Are you?
Not really. I'm surprised they even let you on the track, would they?
I wouldn't
Not
think.
today they wouldn't.
Not
You'd
today
have to have a
they
cage in
wouldn't.
it and stuff.
But she's gorgeous. It's a great frame-off restoration. She's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Oh, it was a frame-off.
That's what Bill said. That's what was in some of the notes. And that's the thing. We don't always get the info on where they came from, right? I don't always know where he purchased them from. We have some of the information there, some of it isn't. And we do have titles, except for that one. And, now we have the title for it.
So in the video, I remember he said he doesn't have one favorite. He had 2.
2.
So what was his 2 favorites?
Well, I think it was, the Model T is one of his favorites, right? And the other one is the Packard right over here. And I can't think of the number. But the Model T is the one he drove all the time.
Yeah, should have videoed him driving. I guess
you should have seen us trying to shoot that.
I didn't quite understand because he was saying that it was really difficult. It wasn't an easy car to drive.
Well,
the Model T, like he was 2-footing it or something.
Well, the Model T is insane to drive. There's actually classes you can take to drive them. It makes no sense. I shouldn't say this on camera. I really hate the Model T because it's hard to drive. Okay, it really is a pain in the derriere. Okay, it is footwork and it's just convoluted. And the only reason
the footwork, because it showed the video but it didn't really explain what he was doing.
I can't remember now. Every time I
learn
it,
he was 2-footing it.
He was, and I wish I could tell you more details. But every time I learned how to drive
the brake to apply the clutch.
Yes, and then there's one thing that puts it in reverse, and then the accelerator is in the handle is in the steering column.
So he's pressing those pedals. Those pedals are not the accelerator.
Yeah, it's a brake, and the other one is I believe to put it in reverse, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure somebody will say, Jones, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And they would be right. And because I really did. I got so pissed at the damn thing. Every time I learned to drive it, because it was the dumbest, overly complicated engineering. And, of course, they sold the best because they were $400. So you learned how to drive the darn thing. But the standardization that we all appreciate today that ended up being standardized by the mid-20s easily, I think it was mid-20s, right before and after the Depression, that we're all used to. You know, it was just crazy, but it was cheap.
Because there was no standard, I guess, back in the day.
No,
it was
no.
whatever that manufacturer
Whatever
wanted
it
to do.
is. Yeah, our Woods Mobile Up that's in the front, that's, it's a bicycle, the bicycle cars or cycle cars. That is actually pretty standardized. That's how any person who's sane, that in our generation, would say you would build a car. But it was 3 years before the Model T really hit big in 1909. You know, so that you would see various different versions of this in the
Configurations of the pedals.
Pointing to the old part of the museum on the
Right.
other side of the wall, that you would have different ways of doing it. And the Model T was his favorite because it was a challenge, and that's what everybody.
what it was?
Everybody I know that has a Model T, and you know, keep your whore mouth shut. I shouldn't have said any of that. That's part of the challenge and the charm of it. You know, whereas the Packard and the Pierce Arrow, right next to each other over here, they're pretty much straightforward. And that was the one where he was saying, you know, it drives like a truck. It doesn't move around, but it's still easy to steer.
It's smooth ride.
It is right, and it was meant to hold people, you know, to literally carry people as you know, as a vehicle. It wasn't meant just to throw the family in. Well, if you had a really rich family, I guess, but you would have, you know, they have seats made for the maids and for the kids, and
Oh, that's the one that has the child seat in
the
it.
child seat. Well, yeah, or the maid seat or whatever,
Okay.
whoever was in that one.
But that they kind of sit in the floorboard.
Yeah, the floorboard part,
Okay.
right up front. Yeah,
Interesting.
And then, you know, he didn't think there was an ugly car made between 32 and 34, and that's evident in our Roadster collection. I wish he would have had a few more coupes and three doors, but he loved the Roadsters. And we have every kind of Roadster there was that was popular.
We had
you know.
that racer.
Yeah, and the Racer, that's another ball game. That's Joel Layden. That's the barn doll racer. But I'm talking the blue ones.
Sure, but I'm just saying you have additional cars from that period though, which would be that. What year's that racer from?
Well, the Racer is a reproduction by Joel Hayden. He's out of Columbia, and those cars were done right after the war. And what they would do, World War II, and what they would do is they take the 30s vehicles that you see right in front of them, and they would create the body. They would cut them up and create this body, and put in these raging V8s in them. And that was one of the first organized racing groups. I don't want to include NASCAR, but it was that sort of generation,
right.
Post-war racing, and people were making them themselves.
I think I read. I don't know if it was the plaque there. One of the plaques had mentioned that whole racing thing kind of got created from the horses.
Yes, and that as
And
well.
so it just went right from horses, then the cars, and that's why
well,
they
horse
started
racing was one of the top sports, top things that people love watching. They just love the horse racing. And
So
they
when he
just
came
did.
along with cars that replaced the horse
just
and
went
carriage,
faster.
it was just a natural
Yeah, exactly.
progression, which is why they started racing.
Right. And Joel did a
Interesting.
great job doing the repro on that.
I noticed it had Fulton on it.
It did. Well, he
What is that?
he was from here. Joel was originally from here. He's
so
retired
they
in
made
Columbia.
that head themselves?
Oh, he made it all.
Oh, he made it all?
He made the whole damn thing.
Wow.
He pulled it all out of old parts. So the wheels are 30s wheels, 1930s wheels. I don't know from
The
which
car I
year.
really liked, and I liked the story from at the art museum talking about that racer, was the Bugatti.
No, it's the Bugatti. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the woman that raced that car, but she had an amazing story as well, right?
Yes, I'll remember it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll give you a call. I still haven't had enough coffee.
But so every car here, they give a nice history. I mean, you could spend hours here walking around reading all the plaques that are on each car.
Right, and we have a few that don't have plaques. We've redone the plaques too, and if Bryce will give them to me, I shouldn't have said his name. Will give me what he's done and redone, it'd be really nice. But it's the problem with volunteers; you can't make them do anything.
Yeah, it's just the nature of it.
Well, it
but
is.
you have to because
But
keeping a
again,
collection
all
like
of this
together.
stuff in here is 20 years old, right? The stuff the pictures and stuff on the walls, not the big things that I've hung, the billboard size. But everything else is out of paper, so the humidity changes, it crinkles, it falls off. I do nothing but double stick tape and try to put it back. And the same thing with the description. So part of our 20th anniversary next year, that's on the list. You know, we're going to try to get those done I would like to do them out of metal. I would like to even have a Braille version of it too. That'd be lovely. We're going to get all the videos, hearing impaired, getting all that stuff dealt with. And we already are ADA in terms of, you know, wheelchairs and that sort of thing. But we'd like to upgrade that at least. And that'll also, then they won't crinkle up all the time and every season change. And I'm going back with double stick tape and trying to put them back.
That would be nice. Yeah.
It really would be nice. We've converted the good chunk of the lights in here to LEDs. That's another thing that's been helpful. When we first started doing that, LEDs had a terrible color range. You'll understand that.
Sure.
And what I kind of liked about the first crummy ones were they were great for black and white photos. You know, when it had a really cool look to it for the black and whites, it looked great. But it really made the cars look ill. You know, they just look, and you couldn't appreciate the color. So now they've gotten better at that. But I still use some standard instruments too, because you just can't beat the analog color sometimes. And they last longer, I've noticed. But it's cut our utility bill down quite a bit. So that's been very helpful.
So this area we're sitting in now, you know, unfortunately people can't see, but it has like a filling station and a bunch of tables and an old, I guess you'd call that what, an old diner?
Yeah, it's an old diner. This was originally were cars in here, and then Vicky's husband, Mike McDaniels, and me were like, look, we could do parties out here. Okay, we should do parties and that sort of thing. We're too far off the beaten path to do a restaurant. That's too big an undertaking. We don't have the room. But that's what I do here. I can comfortably, I can do anything from 25 people to 120 people. In fact, I just booked two tours.
What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well,
6,
here
7,
that's not. I have tables put away and chairs put away right now.
So right now you already got enough for 75.
There are 60 in here right
60
now,
in here.
including what we have around the diner. But I could do up to 120 comfortably.
And you got a.
This is
like
a podium
band,
stage,
like a band stand here, or.
And what ends up happening, you saw the podium was right here. So you have a podium. I mic'd all in. That lower part actually is where I put the band, and it's usually a DJ.
Anymore, it's a DJ.
Anymore, it's a DJ. Actually, you have a full band in here. It's a bit much. As much as I have fabric around and try to knock the sound down, having a full band in here is pretty crazy. But I have a decent sound system, and you know I could do videos, etc.
Yeah. So what kind of parties do you typically have here? What kind of things do you do?
I do a lot of reunions, high school reunions.
High school reunions.
I've done 2, in fact, here of my own high school reunion. Tells you how long I've been back. But I have to do a bunch of those. Birthday parties. I've got a couple of birthday parties coming up. Usually older adults. I've got, gosh, I just have so much stuff.
Are you able to share like any kind of costs, or is there too many variables to? Or maybe you could give me like a starting.
Well, what we do is we just
idea.
charge our group rate. So if you know you're going to have a party of, we're not going to invite more than 80 or 100 people, times 8, whatever that is. That's your rental. And if you get a few up and down, I'm not going to beat you up on that, right?
So it's super affordable.
It's massively affordable.
And
But
then
I can't do large groups.
But you had to bring your own catering in it.
You bring your own catering. We have a couple of good caterers. The number one person I'll push is Mojo's Catering right up the road. You can get them right as you pull off on from 54. They're my main ones. I have Brian Haneke, who does our liquor sales and stuff, because of course we have to have, if you're doing liquor, you have to do it legitimately and with a license and et cetera. He
comes in and he's licensed and he can do that.
Right. He runs 1851, the Tap Room, which is a restaurant downtown. Another very good guy, wonderful. I have a rolling bar right behind me that I pull out for him. And we have catering tables, obviously, to do the buffets. I also have very nice tablecloths, so we can do formal and or informal. In fact, I think I've got one of our feed store people in town. They're going to do
have
their
a
Christmas
minimum
party.
that you have to have in order to do a party?
No, not really.
Not really. Just
Yeah,
do
I
the
mean,
group, right?
I would say, try to have more than 20 people.
I was thinking 20 is probably. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right?
I would even say 35, or 30, 35. It'd be still a little bit bigger.
So
But
30
I'll do
at
any
8,
size.
that's like $320.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Right.
And
I guess they get access then to actually look at the cars.
yeah,
as
so
well,
they
on
come
top of
in.
it.
I have everything open so they can wander around and see the cars, etc. I have a decent PA system with my 1960s microphone that you saw there.
Yeah.
My old RCA, and they can play videos or whatever that they have. But it's really cool. Like we do the Willys Jeep reunion. This will be our 10th year. It'd be our 11th if it weren't for COVID. The Willys Jeep show that happens the first weekend after Labor Day in September. Not just Willys Jeeps, but it's Willys cars, the whole
Anything
9
Willys.
yards, and they're a wonderful group of people. And they do their banquet in here, and they have over 135 people. We have to shove tables and move some cars, and that's
And you guys have a parking lot to facilitate that too.
plenty just fine. Big
Yeah,
parking
so that's
lot.
another thing. I mean, sometimes with the events,
Right.
it's
It's the
that
parking
can
that's
be
the problem.
problematic.
Well,
right?
and I have a beautiful front yard. It's very clay and crabgrassy, which is great for heavy vehicles. And so I always, no matter what car groups that will show up during the day or when I'm open, they can park right out front and have their own little mini car show on the grass, right, and park in the gravel. We're doing cars and coffee now. We've done that finally. I've gotten some youngins that have
Cars
the
and
energy.
coffee. Tell me more about that.
Well,
That
it's
sounds
just a bunch
interesting.
of folks show up. It's the fourth Saturday of each month. We did it from, I think, May through October this last year. And so we get 41 to 50 cars that will show up, park out front, bunch of folks sit down, talk cars, and we have vendors that sell coffee and other stuff. And it's really kind of fun. In fact,
So like a coffee truck.
yeah, a vendor person, yeah.
Yeah.
And so our last one was our trunk or treat, which I'm an old Halloween designer guy. I used to design Halloween for Six Flags and myself and other companies back in Denver. Anyway, so we did a trunk or treat, and that was really just a lot of fun in the morning.
Oh, so you like Halloween?
Oh yeah, I was
You like
used to be-
costumes?
yeah.
You'll
I
find
was,
this interesting.
Huh.
So you don't know who I am? Not really. We just met. So my mother her mother was friends with Virginia Asher. You know who Virginia Asher is?
I know the name.
So she had Asher costumes.
Oh, Astra, that's right.
And then my mother-in-law took over, and then we took over from my mother-in-law. Yeah.
Wow. You did Astra's costumes?
Asher costumes.
Oh
they were
my
on
God.
Brentwood.
Yeah, in Brentwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have bought one. I was in the Halloween manufacturing business. I had lurkers and other stuff in Denver, and I
So
did it.
Did you go like to the show up in Chicago?
I do the Rosemont show. Yes, I did the
And
Rosemont.
then I found out. So we used to make costumes and sell them up there. We'd make them in Honduras, and then we'd sell them up there. And then I found out we got out of it, and then I found out they moved the darn show to St. Louis.
They moved it to St. Louis?
Yes.
From Rosemont, they moved it
Yeah.
to St. Louis?
Yeah, and I was like, gee, we spent all that money, all them years going up to Chicago, and then I get
Well,
out
at least
of
there's
it.
still good
and now-
Italian food. What I loved about Rosemont, you ate well. Well, I created a thing called Safetex, which is using this fabric here, impregnating into molds. So I did textures, everything from rocks to everything,
Oh,
costumes,
really?
everything.
Okay.
And so I got into that, and I sold it to a guy that tanked it and bankrupted it in one season after
Yeah.
working hard. But my ex was like, well, wasn't my ex at the time, was like, stop, get out of Halloween. And then that's when Six Flags themselves hired me to do their Brutal Planet
Wow,
theme. And Brutal
cool.
Planet was started by my competitor in the Halloween costume business. You probably know who these guys are too. And they pissed off Six Flags so much they hired me. Because my theme was always H.P. Lovecraft. And that sort of dark ghoul, those are my costumes. And the look of everything, the walls, etc. They were post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
And I remember taking over their post-apocalyptic thing at Six Flags in Denver for the first year, and then 9/11 happened on the day of load-in. And I'm like, okay, we're on another planet. We're not on the Earth, And so we had to rebrand it because all the props are made to look like what 9/11 looked like in New York at that
Right.
time. It was
yeah.
really kind
that
of
was
strange.
not good for our industry.
No, that's when Halloween died.
That's when
in a lot of
Halloween
ways.
died. Yeah,
We
Well, that's
we
actually
were
when-
a
that's
5
what
billion.
happened.
Right.
That's what happened to us, and we actually ended up having to close after
Yeah.
that.
It was a $5 billion a year business. Not any. Well, it is now.
It is
again,
now,
but
yeah, but it's not like it used to be.
It went right down to $1 billion, and I'm kind of glad I got the hell out of it. But it was my favorite business. I had to come up.
It
with
was a
something.
lot of fun going to Rosemont. You have
But
to admit.
I
then
love Rosemont.
Did you know Mr. Morris would walk around, with his little special hat on?
Yeah. God, you're reminding me of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
I put that in the back of my mind.
It was a bit of a wild trade show for being a business trade show.
Right. Well, and my big thing was flame retardancy. I actually had to build a haunted house in Delaware. They pulled me out there, and I got to meet the national chief of fire chief, and they were based out of Wilmington. And the people I was working with, they thought they were, because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. The fire department's like, you're going to have to put in, because they were redoing the Navo shipyards, and they thought they were going to have to put in a $40,000-$50,000 sprinkler system, which would be $100,000 nowadays. And I walked in to the meeting. They didn't know me from Adam, and they said, "Don't say anything, Tom." And they're talking, and I'm going, "Chief, this is a temporary venue. We're only going to be open for a month and a half." And everybody looked at me hatefully like I just cost them more money. And he goes, "Mr. Jones just saved you $60,000 to $70,000, boys. You're right. This is a temporary venue." So they all had to like me after that. And then I became very good friends with the chief. And he helped me develop SafeTex, which is my product that I could flame retard anything. So, people don't die, don't catch on fire. I built it into costumes. I did all sorts of stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then I sold it to a guy that tanked it after I got huge contracts from Halloween Spirit. He tanked it and didn't make one order.
Oh, boy.
But I that's all right. A few years after that, I had to move back here to take care of mom and dad. So, yeah, it was all over anyway.
So, but that's great about the event here, the event space. And then,
we digressed.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of diverging
that's
history.
so weird. We had that comment. Oh, my God.
So, but I saw this and I was like, wow, this is a really cool venue to go have a party. And then you tell me how much it costs. Oh my goodness!
Look,
I need to have my next birthday party here.
Well, you do. You should. I mean, what will cost you is getting the liquor in. I think it's $300 to $500 for Brian, but otherwise we're cheap.
Right.
And Mojo's is great food. It's not just barbecue and that sort of thing. He has great fish, turkey, you name it. Best baked beans. Anyway, he really cooks well. He's from.
Sounds like
they're
you
all
can
from
get it
Louisiana.
done for probably less than what, $30, $40 a person.
Probably.
And where can you have a party for that price?
Yeah, and so he and I are good friends. I always send people his way. In fact, I might have the National Guard here doing their Christmas present.
Oh, really?
Party here.
So is that a big part of your fundraising? Is the rental of this space, or what's your biggest funding source that you get outside of donations?
People just walking in.
Oh, really? Just the walk-ins?
Just the walk-ins. We used to be open 7 days a week from 9 to 5 before COVID. After COVID, we switched to 3 days a week and from 9 to 4. And I do just the same numbers plus.
Really?
And I don't have to pay
And now
anyone.
you're saving, and then you're saving also on your electric bill?
Saving on the electrics as I turn everything down to minimum here. Also, I don't have a box office person anymore. I ended up coming back here after my wrist messed up and my back messed up. I can't restore houses anymore. I'm done. And so this is sort of my retirement job. And also, we had some issues with some of our employees.
And he was nice enough to come in on his day off, folks, to do this.
Yeah, but we were here
thank you
doing
so
work
much.
anyway. That's fine. But yeah, with it turning suddenly cold, I had to make sure that the water was turned off so I don't break a.
Yeah, it just got down to freezing.
Yeah, well, below.
Below.
And the problem is when they built this building in '79, they put the water lines on the outside and then the insulation. So I always have to make sure I blow everything out.
Oh, really?
I've learned the hard way.
Oh, wow.
Well, why would you build it like that?
I don't know.
That's insane.
Maybe they didn't think it was going to be climate controlled.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's fully climate controlled,
well,
right?
this was a spec building. My mom was a councilwoman for a trillion years. This is one of the second industrial areas that was developed in Fulton.
Oh, so you guys didn't actually build the building. The building was already here, and then you came in and then...
Bill and Vicky bought the building or did the spot. They had a spec thing. Our next-door neighbors were the ones, Production Products. They repackage stuff for Unilever, et cetera. That's what they do. And they originally did it in here, and then they needed someplace bigger. And then so they canceled their lease with Bill and Vicky, and it was perfect they had a building to put us in.
Oh, okay, so you just did the build out.
Right. Now, they also had some land in Kingdom City, which would have been probably a better location on 70 and 54. But the family did not want to waste the land money on some darn museum. They would rather, and this isn't Vicky I'm knocking, they would rather sell it to a hotel, a national chain hotel. So I originally designed all these sets and everything assuming I was going to move. So instead of film quality with tubular steel and fiberglass texturing, I did it in theater. Everything's one by. And so light so we could carry the damn stuff and move it. So that never happened. But we have plenty of land to expand on. And so
that's good.
Yeah.
So expansion next year?
Yeah, it's our 20th, baby. Let's go think good thoughts, man.
Do you have a big event planned for the 20th celebration?
I would love to have a big event planned for right now. And no knock on Deer Vic. I want the place not to look abandoned from the outside. Because that's the whole thing. People see it and da-da-da. And,
like, are they open?
Or does it look nice? Is it, and then everybody comes in and goes, oh, my God, this is cool.
Right.
Well, I would like some landscaping. I need new billboards out in front here. I need landscaping. I need a better sign. There's just... all the stuff out there's 20 years old, and it just gets beaten. We get beaten out here. We're on the flattest part, highest part in Fulton, and so we get hit with the wind, the UV rays, anything that is red out here, like an American flag or our logo, just gets eaten alive by UV rays. But that would be nice, and to build the addition would be great. We need to get all those cars out of storage.
Right, yeah.
We just do. And Vicky knows this, and it's no knock on her, honestly.
Because you have another raccoon situation, a few of those, and you could have probably paid for that building.
Well, like she said when I told her, she goes, I'm sorry we hadn't had more of that happening. Well, she didn't have anyone checking on it. So one of my young volunteers, that was his job, is every month he would go to all of our little locations to make sure everything was okay. He started even, cranking the engine, seeing if they had compression, checking oil, because we don't leave gas in anything, right? So we'll bring our own can and feed it as he's checking the compression. We've done a good job at that kind of stuff. But if it's not in here, it's not being loved on. I mean, do you see any dust on stuff? I mean, I'm very lucky that I have one of my volunteers. I'll share.
So how many volunteers do you have?
Well, right now, I've really only got 2 that are regular. Mm-hmm. And that's perfect. So I have Matthew Bariano, which I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong, but I love faking Italian. Anyway, he very young kiddo, great researcher, okay, and is into cars. He went to trade school to do that. And then I have Paul, who is a retired GM executive and retired here in Fulton. And he bought the Taylor house. And Mr. Taylor was into MG, so there was a shop in the back of it. And it's an old, one of the old Bell houses, which I have a Bell house. Bell was a well-known architect, did a bunch of stuff at MU. Anyway, well-known. And beautiful house. And he used to volunteer at the Packard Proving Ground.
Oh, wow.
He's got my 34 International going right now. He's working on my...
I saw that.
And
is that yours?
No, it's
the collection.
It's my parade, one of my parade cars. And then I have a 36 panel van that has backer potato chips on it that he's redoing now at his house. Just like he did, he has his own shop. So not only do I have a guy that knows his stuff, He's got his own shop.
So that's
He's just
really perfect.
And he's delightful. You know, he's got his own cars. He's got a 67 GTO and a couple of others. And anyway, he's delight. And then still every other Friday he comes in and dusts for me. And then I've got a guy, TJ, who might show up that I pay very little to. He might as well volunteer. He is, because he's tall, has long arms. He'll do my plumbing and other stuff. He could mop like a big boy. I can't do it anymore. He has really long arms. When I change lamps, he's got a long reach. I mean, all the stuff I can't do anymore, I have to have him for, just because I'm not going to die in here on a ladder and nobody comes looking for me for a week. You know,
That wouldn't be good.
dude, that's bad.
That would be bad.
I mentioned that to Vicky. She goes, "Oh yeah, that would be bad." I said, "Yeah, not good, not good, not good for me especially. Probably if I have a minor heart attack or a stroke and I end up dying here." And she's funny, you know, Vicky. Thank God she laughs. But that's, you know. So generally, yes and no. And like I was saying, the problem with volunteers is that you can't make them do anything. Right? I have people that supposedly were volunteering to rewrite the descriptions and stuff. Now, Bryce can't find them on a hard drive. You know, well, you look harder. You know, if it was for a paycheck, you'd do it better, wouldn't you? You know,
Right.
That is the problem generally with nonprofits. Okay, unless you're truly
what needs to be
decorated,
written on your descriptions.
they just need to be updated. There's some mistakes on them as
Oh, I
well. I mean, Dan, God bless him. We realized we were about to open the Stang place, and we realized we don't have any descriptions. I mean, we're like a week away from, you know, the state and the Senate coming in doing their little stuff out front, and all the press showing up, and we're like, and Dan Harrison, God bless him, he wrote 100 of these in 4 days.
4 days.
It
Wow.
took me 2.5 days staying up late just to get it printed on my oversized printer.
So
with all the black.
So that's why there's a few mistakes here and there.
That's why there's
And
one.
these are still the original that he did.
Dude, they're the original. It's like,
Oh,
come
wow.
on, let's change it. and I have a bunch of cars I've switched out in here that don't have any descriptions. You know, that I just, they weren't written for him to begin with, or I got them new, like the Hucks. You know, I'm the only verbal person that will tell people, you know, what the hell it is. The Renault electric car. That whole description was wrong, because on the list it said it was a 75 Renault electric car. And I was raised a good chunk of my life in France, and I go, one, that's not a 74 Renault. That's a Dauphine from the 60s, a Dauphine, Renault Dauphine. And so my good researcher, my good young kid researcher, Matthew, went through and found out it's the Henny Corporation. They were an electronics corporation bought up by Eureka Vacuum, I think, later on. They built these cars in 59 and 60. They got the body parts from Renault, and they created these electric cars. In 59, they only had batteries in the front, so it had a range of 35 miles. And then they put a bunch of batteries in back, and then they had a range of 70 miles. But they only made like 47 of them or something like that, and this is one of the prototypes.
How long did they take to charge?
It looked like it was overnight, because those are the original batteries that we had in them. So I threw in, when we were moving stuff over, and I didn't know any better, I filled everything with distilled water, right? And Bill's like, charge that thing outside in case it catches on fire. So, all of the charging stuff was there, the fuses, everything, so we did. It charged up enough. And then as I was driving it over here, I put on the brakes normally, and my face almost went right into the steering wheel. I mean, I almost lost teeth. Well, there's only one electric motor. It's in where the differential would be. And it's like most electric cars. It goes or it stops. So I realized I had to drive on gravel if I wanted to stop, even just taking my foot off the gas pedal so it would at least skid a little bit instead of on pavement. So, I pulled the fuses out. No one's going to drive that again. So anyway, my guy Matthew looked it up and found out this information. And the reason we had the description is a 1974 because somebody insured it. That was the paperwork. We hadn't seen it when we were writing these descriptions. Said it was a 74 because the insurance, it was registered in the insurance as a 74.
Oh, wow.
So it was completely wrong, that whole thing, and I just ripped it off. And then Matthew found the real history of it.
That's interesting. I mean, a 70-mile range is pretty decent.
It wasn't bad.
If it did an overnight charge.
Yeah. It was about that
It could
long.
be a daily driver.
It was, well, if you're in a small town. I mean, you realize, nobody realizes this too, is we've had electric cars as long as we've had cars. And if you lived in town, and in Fulton, especially General Bell, he modernized us, he modernized. So we had the first phones. He got Callaway County wired up to electricity before most places did. And so if you lived in town up until the 20s, you could just plug into the local grid. And so for in-town driving, it was just fine. But, you live in the county,
right,
far away, you're screwed. You'd be lucky to get to wherever.
So the range on the original electric cars was only 30 to
It was
maybe
probably
70 miles.
Yeah, at best.
Okay.
So electric cars made sense in towns. There were various large cities, like, wasn't it Cincinnati? Might have even been St. Louis too, that had electric vehicles for their.
Well, they had the electric trolley system.
Well, they had the electric trolley. Well, that's cheating because they could hook into the grid underground, right? Or the above ground.
Above.
I mean, above
above
ground.
Yeah.
Denver had the same thing, but that was sort of cheating. It wasn't individuals.
Mm-hmm. They still have one of those cars at the Transportation Museum.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you ever do any cooperations with other museums?
They bring groups here all the time.
Okay.
And Dr. Perschbacher isn't directly involved in it as much, but not really, since I don't have anybody really to work for me.
Because they got a few nice cars over there as well. Especially
have
they got
wonderful.
They got that one room.
They have a steamer.
They have that one room that has the St. Louis cars.
Right.
Like they have a whole range of all the manufacturers from
I'd
St.
love
Louis.
to hit them over the head and take that whole collection.
And then
Anyway.
and then that custom car.
Yeah.
What was it called? The one that's like featured as you walk in.
Yeah, I can't think of it now.
Yeah.
But Dr. Perschbacher was the one that was responsible for the St. Louis cars, especially since he is the automobile expert of the state of Missouri. He was the one that was really responsible for those St. Louis.
Oh,
that
really?
exhibit. That's him. I got his book in here too. I mean, Jerry rocks. He's wonderful. He knows more about cars than you ever want to know. I mean, seriously, the man knows his stuff.
So what's your favorite car in the collection?
The 47 Hudson pickup truck.
Okay.
I've been asked that a whole bunch of times, and I would change my mind depending on my mood. But I've been doing this long enough. The reason I say the 47 Hudson pickup, only 3,000 made, okay, post-war, before commercial production started back up, right, on making cars, really. And they needed pickup trucks. They needed to still feed people. They needed pickup trucks. They weren't being made. And so Hudson came along, hey, we got some extra body parts, blah, blah, blah. And they made 3,000 pickup trucks, and Bill got one. And even though ours has a Hudson Hornet engine in it, they didn't come out with the Hudson Hornet. It was a smaller engine. I can't think of it right now. I'm sure if Matthew was here, he'd correct me. But that is a really, really cool era. And you're not as old as I, but or maybe. Do you remember the TV show in syndication? I don't remember when it came out, called Fury.
No, I don't remember.
It was a Lassie-esque about a black horse. Peter Graves was the lead in it, and somebody else was. It was called Fury. They had one. And I remember my dad, when I was watching it, going, damn, I've never seen a Hudson pickup truck before. And I still remember that, and him saying that. And so when we looked it up and all the information on it, that was one of the things.
So did they make a pickup truck after that?
I really don't think so. They
So
made
that was
one.
it. So they made 3,000 of these, and then that was it.
Right, but they made one before.
Before
they
the
made
war,
one
so they have
before the
those,
war,
but
so they
then-
knew how to do it, and they had
Right.
the bed, obviously. But they took the front of one of their, production models before the war, and stuck them together. Very clever.
Interesting.
Yeah. With a smaller engine. Yeah, apparently.
With a smaller engine.
But it's just charming. I just think it's just kind of cool.
So how many cars are actually here?
Depends on what you call a car. It's my line. It's 88
88
esque.
esque. Yeah.
Depending on you claim the bug on the wall. That was a real car above the Renault. Do you include the bikes? Or the motorcycles? I only have two.
You got two. You got a Honda and you got a Harley.
Yeah, the Harley was interesting. That was donated by a good friend of mine, retired from the Coast Guard. He was a mechanic and a shop guy, and he in Nashville, still in Nashville. And he goes, so apparently there was and I can't remember the name of the company, an Italian aircraft company would buy Harley parts and make racers out of them in the 70s. Race bikes.
Okay.
That was one of them, and he rebuilt that racer.
Okay.
As a racer. And he goes, well, nobody else gets it. Do you want it? And I go, hell yes. I can fit in motorcycles in this place. I can fit in, mannequins. I can fit in costumes. I can't always fit in cars. But damn, motorcycles. And then somebody came up to me with the gold wing or the silver wing. Was that a gold wing?
No, that's a gold wing.
I mean, a gold wing, which is one of the first motorcycles that pretty much started the whole, hit the road on your motorcycle.
Well, with the big fairing and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad had one. He had an 84.
Yeah.
That one's a little older.
Yeah.
I don't know what year that one is, but that's a little bit older. Yeah, well, I walked over and took a look at it when I saw it.
I just thought they were wonderful.
This one has the Vetter fairing on it.
Better fairing. Yeah.
So they did an agreement with Vetter, and he had one that had Vetter as well.
Right.
And then after that, I guess they ended up doing Vetter went their way and Honda went theirs, and they ended up doing their own gold wing. But yeah,
it was great.
Vetter did the color match.
I wish it had the 8-track tape in it, though. That's sort of disappointing.
Yeah, his had a cassette. He had a cassette.
Oh, that's fancy. That's newer.
That was like 84.
Yeah.
I think it was 84.
this I think is an 80.
Older. His was a 1200, and this is a 1000.
Yeah. I think that's 82, isn't it?
I saw a guy redo one of these. Oh my goodness, he did a stainless steel everything, and took the fairing off, put like a racer fairing on it.
Oh wow!
And it was cool because I mentioned it to a motorcycle friend of mine, and he's like, "Gold wing, like ooh." And I'm like, oh no, you got to look at the pictures of this thing.
Yeah, well, and they were the beginning of road touring, period.
Right.
They are
Harley.
The beginning of it. Before Harley, my friends that had Harleys, like my good friend Kate, whose father died on a Harley in Estes Park. I was thinking about Harleys. You left your home, you wouldn't end up where you were going with the same amount of parts. They were just crappy. They just fall off, and he lost the front wheel and died coming from Estes Park going down the hill. But it was just horrible. But that was back in those days, the old Harley days, before they were barred out. And, But, that was...
I have a couple of Indians, so...
Oh, Indians are beautiful?
No, I like the four-cylinder. They actually bought it. Was it the Arrow motorcycle company?
Yeah, wasn't it?
So they bought Arrow.
Uh-huh.
Arrow actually is the one that came up with the design, and they just kept making it, slapped the Indian.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those go for like...
I know.
More than I can afford.
So our American Pickers thing we had from town when he came to get the Packard, his brother Rob came to get the Packard, I was called by these two ladies whose father owned a junkyard, and they had a 47 Indian. Everything intact, everything, the metal, everything was there.
Perfect. Oh, wow.
And had compression.
And
so I told Rob this, and he's like... I said, I'll give you the names. I'm not going to be the monkey in the middle on this one, but make sure you have room when you come get the Packard that we can put her in. He goes, got it. And he got one. He got that one. He still won't tell me who he sold it to, but he might have kept it. He won't talk to me about that. That's so interesting. Anyway, but it was really cool to see an Indian. It was the fancy model, like, you know what I mean, the metal bags and metal saddlebags and. It was just beautiful, chrome. It was a higher end. I don't know motorcycles well enough, but a 47.
Probably, I think, I don't know if they had a chieftain back then. Probably just a chief.
No, it wasn't a chieftain. I would recognize it. It was probably just the chief.
Or they might have called it the roadmaster.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they had roadmasters way back then. I'm not sure. I don't know my history that well. But, yeah, I have a chieftain and I have a scout.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, so I like them both.
Do you watch Itchy Boots? as a YouTube
Yeah, I'm
channel?
subscribed to Itchy Boots.
I'm a
Yeah.
very big fan of Itchy Boots.
She's wild and crazy.
Damn.
She did the Darien Gap.
I know.
That's like I wouldn't even do the Darien Gap.
Why would you do that? She's
I mean,
insane.
blonde-haired Dutch woman doing the Darien Gap.
She's now coming through Afghanistan into tens. Anyway, I love her to death, and I worry about her all the time.
Yeah, because she got hurt recently, right?
Well, before the book tour. Yeah, she got her lung poked by the. Anyway, yeah. But she's fine. She's fine.
A nice YouTube channel in case you're wanting to watch traveling.
Absolutely.
Motorcyclist. Itchy Boots is a good one to watch.
Yeah.
And
even Wonder Hussy, I would recommend too.
and then I also like he's not doing so much motorcycle anymore.
Charlie?
Borman?
No. Okay.
Charlie who?
Charlie Schwain. He's Spanish guy too.
Okay, I don't know.
He's
that
friends
one.
with Wonder Hussy too.
And then there's
I mean, Itchy Boots.
and then there's the $1 Million Bogan.
Yeah.
The Australian.
Yeah.
He's got a few good shows, but I don't think he's really doing motorcycles anymore. I think he's
No.
all into the boats. and
He's into
stuff.
the boats now.
Yeah.
Which
But,
are cool, but I'm not as interested.
No, he kind of lost me on that.
Yeah. But Itchy,
Yeah, she keeps going.
a crazy Dutch girl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, but inspirational for sure.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do the what do you call it, Dud Horse all the way to Ushuaia. That's kind of my dream trip.
Oh, is
on
it?
a bike.
No,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I still wouldn't do Darien Gap. I'd probably catch some kind of ferry or something in Panama and get to Colombia.
Just shoot yourself before you do it. You might as well. I don't know how she pulled that off.
Right. I guess daylight maybe helped.
Well, tits of steel.
Right.
Girl, I mean, my God.
Yeah, and on a small bike too.
Yeah.
But I guess she almost kind of needed it going through there.
Well,
You
there
don't
she
want a
had the
big back.
smaller one because it was easier because she was always picking it up.
Right.
But she always loved the heavier bikes, obviously, when they needed the power. And now she just getting out of this last round, getting out of Afghanistan.
And then they blocked her from the U.S. Did she ever make it to the U.S.
No,
for the
they
book?
didn't block her, but she was afraid she was going to get in trouble.
In trouble.
Well, because all the countries she had been through. She had just finished Yemen just before the book tour. So she had just done Yemen and the island off of Yemen and did all these places. And she said, I think it was her lawyer. A couple of people are like,
it's not worth it.
don't
risking
do it.
it. Yeah, don't do it.
They'll get you like a terrorist or something.
Yeah.
Which is actually, to throw it back to this place, this is the slowest summer I've had with tourists. Okay, I have tourists from all over the world. I have this lovely German couple. This guy owns an El Camino, and he always comes here every year
That's
to
a
find
car, in
parts.
case people wondering.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. But anyway, delightful.
Well, is it a car?
Yeah, or a truck. Yeah, how do you
It's
go?
a car or a truck, but it is an automobile.
It is an automobile. He's got
Like
a
a-
68 El Camino, and it's delightful. He uses that as an excuse to travel to the States trying to find parts. So, but I see them almost every year. But I always get Canadians, French, Spanish,
Did the
Mexicans.
Did the car show at the art museum help you at all?
Nope,
No.
not a damn thing. Isn't that weird?
Interesting.
I get a lot of the Route 66 people because they don't want to go the real route until they hit Springfield, because it really starts in Springfield in a lot of ways. So I'll get hit, the people heading to do the 66.
Really?
So that's kind of cool.
I am glad that the Transportation Museum was able to get part of that hotel.
Yes, me too.
That was nice.
It was.
I was very upset about that. I know. It's just tough, right?
It is.
Vicky wasn't interested. No.
She has too much crap.
Too much already.
She does.
That
the
was just
poor
a shame.
thing.
We're talking about what was it called? The Coral Hotel?
Yeah.
Or-
Isn't it Coral?
yeah. They're on, is it Watson? Which is Route 66, I believe.
I have to look it up again.
Anyway.
She doesn't need any more buildings.
It was this old retro hotel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
long history in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And, at least, I guess I should be thankful. I got to drive by. I remember seeing it when it was still standing.
She's rescued many a building in this town, not just houses.
Mm-hmm.
And is, God bless her. I mean, seriously. Her family legacy, her father was this place and the potato chip factory. And she was the houses. I mean, and with mom and a whole bunch of other people. It wasn't just her and mom that did the historical preservation. They were, God bless her for doing it. A true legacy.
So people probably don't know that. So I'm glad you're sharing that.
Yeah. A lot of people, and they don't appreciate what Vicky's really done. I mean,
39 homes.
easily, I'm probably missing one, or she's got more properties than that. But in terms of historical properties,
Right, the historical
ones
preservation.
for absolute sure. Just on 7th Street where I live, she's got 3 or 4 houses they're still working on up in there. And Joe is, and they're having the same problem I did, because I was doing restoration, either working with her crew or whatever, and I can't find people. One, not to sound old, but there are a lot of people that just either they don't know the trade, any trade, with whether it's mechanical or wood or anything. Very few that are reliable. I know larger contractors that are beating their head against the wall. They can't keep them either. They're, alcohol or methamphetamine or fentanyl people, or, people that know how to do those jobs aren't here. They're either union in St. Louis, Kansas City, other places. All the good guys don't stay here.
How close are you to Farmington?
I can't.
So pretty far away.
Yeah, we're kind of far away from Farmington.
I just did an interview on Saturday with someone who's working with the Eastern Missouri, I'm going to butcher it, Action Agency.
I've heard of those guys.
And what they do is they help train people for the trades, and then at the same time, they got it was really interesting, they got a government grant that got them started. And so they train the guys up, and then they go out and build a house.
Right.
And they sell the house, and now they're in their 3rd or 5th year. The funding had stopped in October, which the shutdown, he said, actually is not impacting them, because now they are actually self-sufficient by building the houses, selling them, and then the proceeds from the house.
That's what our building trades used to be here in high school. That's how they would keep it going, was that same method.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's what was sad, that when they stopped teaching building trades, the state hospital.
They wanted to go STEM, and then
they
they kind of miss these trades are really suffering right now.
And
the auto mechanics as well, I understand.
Yeah, same thing.
The gentleman that was here that took me here, that brought me here, he works in the car warranty industry, and he's saying all of those shops that work at all those car dealerships that he services, they're all starved for people as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and I know Bob. Bob. I almost said Yablons. Yap. He teaches historic preservation up in Hannibal.
Okay.
And he has courses, et cetera, et cetera. He was actually on TV as a furniture guy on one of the early history channels. He's an old family friend, which is kind of funny. He ended up in Hannibal. He helped me on my house, suggesting all sorts of stuff. But he has classes regularly, thank God. And he was looking at expanding. He was the one that mentioned the farm guys in Farmington people.
Oh, Eastern Missouri.
Eastern Missouri, right. And I think he actually helped them get going a little bit on that.
Oh, I'll have to ask Steve.
But but it's Bob Yap.
Bob
Yap. He's look at him on Facebook too. He's got the independence, preservation, yada yadas. But he does restoration primarily, not new houses. But he'll build you a new old house.
Interesting.
And his crew. And he's saying that it's getting better and better. He goes, "The God bless women. No men are doing this."
And he goes, women.
And he goes, and it's better because the women are better at micromanaging, multitasking rather, and they actually have better hands and abilities to do some of the, hand carving and some of the fine work. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's like
guys just want to go in there with an axe.
Well, or just with a nail going wham, 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 wham. I mean, seriously, it's like some of our best helicopter pilots are women. There's a reason for that. It's there. So he's blessed, as he says. He goes, "Thank God I've got women, because I can't get any men to do this." He's lucky to have 4 or 5 that know what they're doing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he has to pull specialists in from all over the country, because he charges for the school. When they do their programs and stuff. But he's great.
So what kind of wood classes does he offer?
Oh, everything from windows, making your own windows. Doors, everything.
Really?
Paneling, faux finishing.
Oh, wow.
Everything, yeah.
Is that open to the public too, or?
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. But you have there's a fee to each class.
Sure, but if you wanted to learn how to make a door, you could go up there.
Yeah, I'll show you that after the interview. I'll show him his.
Okay.
I'll show you his thing and help you get on that.
Because I make my own kitchen cabinet.
Oh, do you? You're a carpenter or a cabinet maker?
Not really, but I just kind of dove into it by accident.
Oh, you poor bastard.
Yeah. So I'll tell you that I have a quick version of the story. So my wife wanted granite countertops.
Right.
We had a built-up bar, so it was a 2-level thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I want just one big slab." I'm like, "Okay." So I brought the granite guy out, and he brought his oscillator thing, and I had all the countertops pulled, so he cut that down. And inside of there was a hammer rest. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to move that down to fit the cabinet." I'm like, "Okay, I'll handle that. I can sweat copper, no big deal." I go to remove the first cabinet. I waited a while. I didn't jump on it. So I was like, "Oh, I'll wait till he gets it done, and I'll do it." So he's done. Cut the granite. Calls me. "Granite's ready. When are you ready?" "Oh, I'm not quite ready. I need probably a week." "Is that all right? Can you hold on a week?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." I pull the first cabinet out. It was made out of particle board. It crumbled.
Of course.
And these cabinets were made in Canada, so they're all metric. And I called around to a dozen shops. Nobody makes metric cabinets.
No.
And so I was going to have a custom one made.
Well, they do in Europe, but yeah.
They do. And actually, I think some people do in the U.S., but they wanted like $2,500. I needed the cabinet next to the sink and the seat cabinet. I needed 2 cabinets. It was going to cost me $2,500.
Jeez.
Because they don't make that. It was
Right,
going to be complete.
right.
Like, we're not set up.
Sure.
And the thing is he already had it cut. So it wasn't going to be off by much, but it was going to be off enough that the sink wasn't going to be centered in the cabinet.
Right. Right.
And so I ended up making all the base cabinets myself metric. And so now I'm making the upper cabinets. But I kind of have fun. My wife hates it. I kind of have fun with it because I got all this plywood leaning up in the garage. People are like, "Well, what is that?" I go, "Those are my kitchen cabinets." And I'm like, "That's plywood." I'm like, "Well, that's what they make cabinets out of."
Kids. Yeah. There's not very many trees that big anymore.
They're made out of boxes. So it's been an experience. So I went from Craig tool to Festool because I found out.
Yeah.
Because I did the base cabinets and I was under a massive deadline to try to get this done because the guy keep calling me, "Are we ready yet? Are we ready yet?" Literally, he shows up at the granite. I'm still on the last cabinet trying to put it together. So I ended up doing all the base cabinets new. So I'm like, well, I'm going to have the same problem again, so I might as well just
do it.
Replace them all with proper plywood instead of particle board.
Yeah.
And so, so I did all those with a Craig tool. I got a divorce because she was helping me with it, and then I told her when I'm doing the upper cabinets, I need better tools. So I upgraded to the Festool, and I told her, "Oh my God, it was literally it's night and day." Wow. I can use the track saw and make my cuts. They're all within a fraction of a millimeter, not an inch. A millimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is on. Everything is square.
Yeah.
And so I think I cut 2 cabinets in like 30 minutes. Wow. Completely cut. Dado the joint. I mean, and done.
Yeah, I worked for a cabinet guy. He had the $30,000 Italian table saw, and you put in your piece of plywood, and you just go, wing.
Yeah, they call it a sliding table.
Sliding table.
Yeah, I didn't go that crazy. I did tell her, I go, I think I'm going to get a saw stop because my finger's worth at least that much.
They are.
So I did go saw stop.
Good.
So I won't cut my finger off.
Right,
everybody's trying to you should go test on a hot dog. And I go, "You got $200, so I need a new blade and a new brake." I go, "No, I'm sure it works. Let's not try it."
Yeah.
But anyway, so
how many fish can you use anyway?
Anyway, it was I don't know. It's one of those type 2 kind of funds, I guess.
Sure.
So I enjoy doing it, but it's type 2.
But you'd enjoy Bob and taking a course or two up there.
But I got all the tools now.
Right.
And now, and call me crazy, I wouldn't mind maybe making new interior doors for my house that are kind of unique. Mm-hmm. My own design instead of one of those.
What kind of house do you have?
It's just a Florida house. It's brick and stucco.
Oh, okay.
And then I got tile on the inside. But
sure.
I'm wanting to use that, what's that wood? they have it down in Honduras, mahogany.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's they call it African mahogany, sapelli.
So, yeah.
Sapelli.
Yeah,
And so I'm
yeah.
wanting to use sapelli wood. It has like the banding in
It has
it.
the banding in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I thought,
kinda
or a
what-
tiger something. I thought they called it a tiger too. There's another.
There might
word.
be a tiger variety,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the one I got, so I've already got the veneer for the cabinet, so we're
Yeah,
going to do
yeah,
the
yeah,
cabinet
yeah,
doors and
yeah.
all that, and then
That's
put
cool
the
as
veneer
hell.
on it, and I got
Yeah.
the nice plywood, and we're also making the upper cabinets. I made them, I think is it 15 inches deep, so you can actually put a platter in there and shut the door. Because like for her larger platters, they won't fit in the upper
Right,
cabinets.
of course.
And they're just a plate. So why
Right.
they got to put that in the base cabinet?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, and making all the drawers and all of that.
Well, my mother, thank God, was early mid-century modern. So we all had all Danish furniture in our 1854 house. All Danish furniture had Nakashima not in the catalog, 2 chairs and a stool. And I was desperate, thinking I needed the money for Mom and Dad. Got rid of it all for $5,000 for $60,000 worth of stuff. Still breaks my heart, but that's when I learned the difference between being a carpenter and a cabinet maker. It's a whole nother set of tools. That's what's so funny about Joe. I was telling you about Joe. Joe's a cabinet guy, and he's got all the tools. He's got all the hand tools, all that stuff. All I do is house calls, so my tools are rusting. All those good chisels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there
Poor guy.
do you have a list of what you're looking for to add, or you don't really have any room to add, or
I don't have any place to add.
yeah? Are you looking for anything nostalgic that might?
Well,
fit in?
I need mannequins.
Okay, so there you go.
I would like. Well, I've got some of those '60s mannequins in here. Anything, even dress form. I even have a couple of old.
Yeah, dress
turn of
forms
the
can
70s.
work,
Dress
too.
forms
Sure.
can work too, but I could really use them. Radios, appliances. I've got the refrigerator. I've got the washing machine that I still need to pull in. But anything like that, anything I can put in a wall. I've got some radios from the '30s. I would love to have jukeboxes occasionally placed around. But, I'm pushing it right now
Till you get the extra space.
till I really get the extra space, because this is an outline of how I would have done a museum, okay? I was an airplane, tank, train kid when I was playing with stuff. I wasn't a car kid. And so when we did this, and I was raised in museums my whole life. I mean, I got to play in the Louvre every Monday, for God's sake, for a year with my mother, because we knew the person. We didn't steal jewels either. And
I got to see them before they got stolen.
did you? Cool,
Yeah.
cool. I've seen those jewels.
And Elena's like, my wife's going, dang, we should have taken them.
We should have take a little hammer. Oh my God! And so, so I knew museums. I know what they should be and shouldn't be. I loved how the Ford Museum was a lot like this, or they tried to be, in a lot of ways. But they've got their heads up their bottoms. It's so weird. I don't think they even know. The people that work there don't even know who curated it. Our phone calls with them are weird. Anyway, but this was an outline of what we wanted to do, right? It's scrunched in. I want a bigger Depression era. I want a bigger, older development area. I want a moon back. I want our moon back, damn it. Or the older moon, not
Right.
that one.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of stuff that are more important historically. We aren't the Jay Leno garage. I don't want that. And neither does Vicky. I want vehicles and things
Well, you
that
want to do your own thing.
put the car. Well, I want to put the cars into context, because
Right.
otherwise it's just a bunch of goddamn cars. You might as well have an old guy walking around just showing it to you. Blah, blah. There's enough of that, honestly. Mm-hmm. And the newer generations understand. Like my Lampert, for God's sake, as is, and Black Auto Buggy. I just love how they are, just as they are, how they aged, that sort of thing. It kind of.
I guess you have to. Do you have to move these cars every so often, or you're going to get flat spots on the wheels?
Well, look, funny you should say that about the Mustang. So I guess it was 2 years ago. I'm in denial. I keep saying it was this last spring. It was 2 springs ago. I open up and I hear this boom, boom. Like somebody just shot a shotgun in here twice. And I'm like, I just opened up. Who's in here with a shotgun? The two back tires there, because they are General Tire, which were making shitty tires. That's why they went out of business. They blew up on me. The rear ones blew up.
Oh, wow.
And their radials. Can you imagine if there was someone there? I could have cut someone to pieces.
Yep.
And those aren't the tires for it. So, but it just, and that had General Tires, and my VW thing had General Tires. They blew up on me. Hell, right now I just want Vicky to get me 4 new tires for them and for the thing. That'd be great. But General just made such terrible tires at the end.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, I remember they were blowing up on trucks, and I forgot who it was that bought them. And anyway, bought their factory, Yokohama maybe, or one of those guys.
Okay.
But
So
I
this
mean,
is kind of neat too.
yep, this is very good. That was one he had redone. I did the one over there, and then Bill had the one on the other side, the really cool old one done. Yeah, yeah. So that was cool. He didn't have a lot of signs. He did have local signs, Dan User Motors, and a bunch of those. Thank God he collected the local guys that own the car companies and stuff. But he didn't have signs. I had to go out and buy them, pay retail.
Yeah, they get expensive after a while.
Oh, they're very expensive. That bad boy right there.
Yeah.
You know, that was like $500. It wasn't worth it. Anyway, it is worth it. But, and it was one of Bill's old friends too that was collecting. My friend Mary's dad. He has he had a great collection, but you know he knew what he had. You know, it was at that point where Barrett's and all the stuff, collectible crap, became popular.
So you're saying it's kind of, is it still popular, or is it kind of
No, it's signs.
waned a little
It looks
bit?
like the signs are still pretty solid to
Okay.
me. And car companies and old cars are just going up, but most of it's the muscle cars. The older cars, you used to have to pay 20, 30 grand for a good Model A. And those went down. And a couple of the guys that I know at the McPherson School has said, he goes, it's like the new girl game, or who's the new girl game. It just goes in waves. It's like, right now we have the IKEA generation of furniture people. They're not going to buy houses. They're going to throw it away, etc. They don't give a crap about antique furniture. It's the same thing with cars. And like you said, and he's right, it skips a generation. Now we're coming back to, and I notice this from the clients that come through here, that they are interested in now the old cars. They wish they would have kept their grandpa's blah, but they didn't.
I wish I
thought it
would have
was
kept my
interesting.
1972 Ventura.
Yeah, those are great cars.
They're still pretty affordable.
They are.
I found a few under $10,000. You can get a nice one.
And a lot of people are looking for the really cool, muscle car stuff. I'm more interested in the everyday, as well, the everyday drivers and that kind of stuff,
Yeah. I had a coupe.
You had a coupe, did you?
With a 350.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It moved.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 73 Custom 500, my grandmother's car. It was a police car. They had one too many sheriff's cars when they were buying. They gave her a deal. And my parents, we had one of the last VW convertibles from Austria that we drove, blah, blah, blah. Fast cars. Basically, it was a Porsche with a VW convertible thing on it. Anyway, Dad wouldn't let me drive that when I first started driving. He goes, you get Grandma's car. Oh, really? The 351 4-barrel with the Z-gate transmission and the suspension package? Oh, Dad, don't make me. Oh, don't make me, Daddy. Daddy, please let me drive the VW. I went 145 miles an hour in that damn car. Granted, I only got 3 miles to the gallon, and gas had just turned $1 a gallon. Dad's like, well, that'll limit your, whatever, da-da-da. I said, yeah, I can go 125 to 135 miles an hour and on the back roads.
Well, you're out here in you were out here in this area?
Yeah, I was right here in Fulton. I went the back road to Columbia and back. Are you kidding? That's for sports cars. And everybody was so freaked out. Why are you going so fast? This car's too big. And I go, watch it. Watch this. Watch this. It was great.
Yeah.
And I went to college. I come back that Christmas. I got, Dad, where's Helen's car? And I see it across the street. My dad sold it to the neighbor's kid across the street.
Yeah, he knew what it was.
and he wrecked it while I was back for vacation.
Oh, darn.
I just went and punched my father. I've never been so mad at my father ever in my entire life.
That was a good car.
Dad, you have no idea what you just did, you idiot. But he knew nothing about cars, really, so he didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first car, you're going to give me a police interceptor. Really? All right, not the fastest police interceptor, but a damn good one.
Yeah, they put everything into those, right?
Oh, my God, yeah. Didn't have the 400 or whatever the hell it was, but it had the 351 Cleveland.
Yeah.
And the 4-barrel. And the suspension package, ZK transmission. Yeah, I had a great time. And it was big enough to, make out with girls. The VW wasn't so good for that.
No.
We had to be creative.
Well, Tom, that's a great visit with you.
Absolutely. This has been
so
wonderful.
If you're interested in vintage cars, come on down to the Fulton Auto World Museum here in Fulton, Missouri, and you can swing by Cranes and pick up some of those backer
potato chips, and I have them here too.
Oh, you have them here too?
Yeah, I sell them here. You betcha.
Okay, and you can get a pair of boots down there if you need.
Yeah, I go to Cranes, spend money there. They need the money.
And get a bologna sandwich and box of cartridges.
Well, it's right by the shooting range. That's where I go to shoot. So
there you go.
There we
All
go.
right. So this is Kirk with Vibe Your Vibe, and I had Tom Jones from the Auto World Museum here in Fulton, Missouri. Thanks for watching.
Thanks again, Kirk.
Thanks.
You rock, man. Great
All right.
combo.
All right.